Craig Morrow reports from Caracas.
Enthusiastic supporters accompany Hugo Chavez into what is unfamiliar territory for the Venezuelan president. This is the opening session of the National Assembly, Venezuela's legislature. For the first time in years, an opposition coalition has enough seats to block government legislation. Unusually for Venezuelan politics, there have been few fireworks so far, as committees begin hammering out the year's agenda.
People don't want the National Assembly to turn into a polarized political space. They want it to be a lawmaking institution for issues like housing, jobs and security. The whole country voted so that we work to solve their problems.
Chavez's 12-year rule has deeply polarized Venezuelans. The president maintains a large, though slightly weakened base of supporters, especially among the poor. In December, the outgoing assembly, controlled by Chavez's Socialist Party, pushed through an 11th-hour decree that gave the president emergency powers for 18 months. That enables him to bypass the new legislature on several key issues. The opposition called it a ploy to weaken the new assembly that took office in January. But Chavez says he needs the powers to deal with unprecedented floods and rains that struck last year.
We've seen a petty attitude among some opposition members who want to deny the rights of the people and overrule the rights of the previous assembly.
Flores was the president of the last assembly, which passed a slew of laws to deepen what the president calls a 21st century socialist revolution. Chavez began the year with a somewhat conciliatory tone. He refused to sign a controversial university law that had angered the opposition, and he even suggested that he might give up those decree powers. However, since then, he has backtracked, saying he may even seek to get the powers expanded. As Chavez and the opposition adjust to Venezuela's new political reality, the streets of Caracas, so often the scene of mass protests in recent years, seem calm for the time being. If recent history is any judge, however, it is probably just a matter of time before that changes. Craig Morrow, AlJazeera, Caracas.
Let's take you to Tripoli now, scene of clashes between anti-government demonstrators and Gaddafi loyalists, and speak to Sati, who's in the capital. Sati, what have you been seeing?
Yeah, I've been saying since 3 days we started the revolution, the real revolution in Tripoli. But the security and Gaddafi people, they were very, very strong. They were shooting us with guns and arms, you know. And now, today at around 8 o'clock, the city was free of police, free of everybody. Only the normal people was in the town, you know, and we were surprised. Why is that? And then we hear that Gaddafi has left to Venezuela, him and his family, and his wife went to Germany with his daughter, Aisha, and another one, I don't know what's her name. And we are in a very quiet city today, since 3 hours, 4 hours, you know, very quiet. Life became to normal, you know. We're traveling, the traffic is normal, everything is okay. We don't hear anything, no guns, nothing, since 3 hours. But before that was a lot of shots, a lot of guns, a lot of arms, you know. Police was no police today since 8 o'clock in the evening. Was no police. Everything is quiet.
Okay, well, we're looking at pictures of Benghazi, but we're talking about Tripoli.
Yeah.
And you're saying in Tripoli there is now.
Yes, I am in Tripoli. Yes, I am in Tripoli. Actually, I'm in Tripoli center. There were some people belongs to Gaddafi in the Tripoli center, in the Green Square. They were fighting with some other people against Gaddafi, and they left. Everybody left.
It's now peaceful on the streets of Tripoli?
Sorry?
It's now peaceful on the streets of Tripoli?
No police in the street. No police in the street.
Where do you have this information from that Muammar Gaddafi has left the country and gone to Venezuela?
Yes, we heard it from the people here they said that Gaddafi has left to Venezuela, and then we heard it from the military in Libya.
All right. That's incredible news, Sati. We must finish now, but that is incredible news, and we will obviously follow that information up when we go to Washington at the top of the next hour. But as you can hear, a very confused picture coming up from various cities, although it's been quite clear, in fact, from what we've heard in Benghazi, that the streets are now peaceful and Muammar Gaddafi's troops are off the streets. In the past half hour, a Libyan diplomat has been making some extraordinary claims on AlJazeera Arabic about a gunfight between Muammar Gaddafi's sons. He also says that Gaddafi may have left Libya.
I would like to reassure my Libyan brethren that Saif al-Islam will not be making a speech this evening, because there has been a big fight between him and his brother al-Mu'tasim, and this is not confirmed news that this fight has reached the level that al-Mu'tasim shot his brother Saif al-Islam. I have also another piece of news which might reach you soon, that is Muammar Gaddafi has left Libya on his way to Venezuela.
Well, the party of Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel has suffered major losses in critical local elections. The party got 20% of the vote in Hamburg. That's a picture in Germany, but the more important story tonight is breaking in Libya. In Tripoli, there are reports saying that Muammar Gaddafi has left the country. There are also reports from Libya's second city, Benghazi, that there is peace on the streets and no troops left. We're also hearing reports from AlJazeera Arabic. There has been shooting involving some members of Muammar Gaddafi's family in Tripoli. Those are the top stories. My colleagues in Washington will be here in just under half an hour with the latest from Libya. From me, Stephen Cole, goodbye.
Everyone, this is People in Power, and I'm Summer El-Shahad. On today's programme, blood and dust.
The aim of this helicopter isn't to fix you, it's to keep you alive. And they do that by trying to keep everything working, by treating the body as a container, making sure it doesn't lose more liquids, and if it has lost too much, trying to replace them quickly. Trying to reduce the shock, trying to address pain, and trying to ensure that they contain the body so it can cope by staying alive.
This summer, the US plans to start reducing its troop numbers in Afghanistan, a sign many hope that NATO's war against the Taliban will one day end. However,